Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna do a quick video on Gengar, the Pokemon model. Very basic, very simple model. You can pretty much get these anywhere. So the parts were pretty, that has to go. I was not a fan of the tongue. That gimmick has to go. It was very straightforward. These models are made for kids. The instructions are all in English. It's just real easy. Now I'm just doing a quick snap of it, just fast forwarding for your, for your view pleasure. Everything goes together pretty smooth, pretty easily. That tongue has to go. I'm not a fan of that. Now I'm just checking for seam lines, seeing what I have to do. Now I'm just looking for how it goes together. Like the arms were arm goes together pretty easily. The feet. This model is so easy to snap. I didn't even look at the instructions. And sometimes it's nice to take a break from these big projects I'm working on and do something quick. And Gengar's pretty sweet. Yeah, as you can see, he barely poses. Gengar barely moves to begin with. And I'm getting a good look on what seam lines have to be removed and what has to be filled. This is what you should do with those parts for the tongue, right in the trash. Now I'm just inspecting to see what I have to get rid of, and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put the eyes in. So I'm trying to do as little masking as I have to. So it's pretty easy. All you do is cut the eyes out just like that, and you're going to do some cleanup. This way you can pop the eyes in and out without taking the front faceplate off, because I plan on gluing the front faceplate to the body. So I get to remove that huge seam line that goes around his body. The model comes with a few faceplates, so you can pick which one you want to do. I wasn't a fan of, obviously the tongue, but I figured this is an iconic look for Gengar, just him smiling. But yeah, just shave away, nice and careful. Get used to using a knife. Look, that's it. Now I'm gonna remove all the parts and look for any holes in any parts to remove for puttying. He had some gaps around the arms and legs, but I didn't want to remove them because he poses a little bit, so I figured I could leave that there. But and those hollow spots on the bottom of his foot, I'm just gonna leave them. I'm gonna just show you guys too that I remove seam lines. This model has some pretty big ones because this really wasn't meant for that. So I filled up with some really thick glue. I really got it in there. I just try to fill up as much as I can, because if you look closely, you can see how awful that mold line is all around his top of his head, on his horns and his ears or whatever the hell they are. Make sure you give it a good squeeze. Make sure the glue comes out, so you know you got a good coverage. So then I put that faceplate inside, and then what I'm doing now is I'm gonna glue up the sides of it so I can remove that seam line. And same thing, I'm using the Mr. Hobby Mr. Hobby cement, just filling it in. That's it. Make sure you squeeze it nice and good, and make sure that all that glue comes out. Look at that. That's good coverage. Yeah. And now I'm just smacking it on because the separation between the two parts, those are big. That's a big. That was a big seam line to remove. And same with the tail. Just add a lot of glue. Squeeze the tail on, and then you're done. Now this is my sanding station. I have this exhaust fan that sucks up any dust from when I'm sanding or cleaning up resin. It sucks it in. It's pretty strong. It's pretty loud though, but it's not too bad. Oh, the green stuff I used was Finisher's Laquer Putty. I use that a lot. I like that a lot more than Tamiya Putty because it doesn't shrink as much as Tamiya Putty. Tamiya Putty, when you put it on, it kind of shrinks into the seam line you're trying to remove, and you need multiple layers of it. But if you look closely where I'm sanding, you can just notice it's gone, and the putty really does the trick. And I really recommend, if you can get a bottle in the States, I recommend getting that Finisher's Laquer thing, and it's a lifesaver. Look how smooth that is. So yeah, I started off sanding with some. My thing is I use the God hand sponges mostly for these round surfaces. Start off with 240, then blend it with 400, then 600, 800, and finish it off with 1000 grit. Here's Gengar after the first layer of prime. Then I checked for more imperfections, and then I applied more of Laquer Putty. And I did my final sanding, and I think he's good to go. I'm gonna hit him now with some 1200 surfacer and get him painted. But he came out pretty smooth and pretty nice, so that's pretty cool. After a little more putty and a little more sanding, I was able to get it as smooth as possible, as smooth as I can. And this is kind of it's a repeating process for surface prep. It's mostly the most time-consuming part of building models. Now, I'm really sorry about recording this because I have to get an idea how to position the camera correctly so you guys can see what the hell I'm doing. Right now I am airbrushing. I start off with 1000 surfacer, Mr. Hobby 1000 surfacer, and then I build it up to 1200 when I do my final coat before I paint, because I like my paint being silky smooth. And as you can tell, look how he's turning out. Look at that. It's nice and round, looks like an egg. Very good, good to go. Now I'm gonna use this paint I got, G Paint. It's the Halloween colors. It was like a limited batch thing. I never used G Paint before, this is the first time trying it. And it was an okay experience, I didn't mind it. They were a little weaker than I like, but 65 milliliter bottles, pre-thin, dump them into your airbrush, you're good to go. So it wasn't that bad. So now I'm giving Gengar a coat of their bone white, because I really don't like painting these colors like purple, yellow, orange on gray surface. I like painting on a white surface. But this white is kind of like an off-white, and because I like my colors to be more vivid and pop out more easily. So right now I'm just going a nice light coat. It does spray nicely. It doesn't spatter too much. It was doing pretty well. And right now I'm painting the eyes whiter. And now I'm gonna hit the teeth with the same color, bone white. I don't have to do that much shading to it. It just goes on pretty nicely, just a few coats. And pretty satisfying results. The only problem with these paint is they are pretty weak. You know, I guess they're like some kind of lacquer or acrylic. I don't know, they scratch easily. So yeah, this is how the teeth turned out. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's like 2 coats. It does a nice coverage. Just got to get used to airbrushing. Now I'm going on to bloody red. I'm going to use this for the eyes. If you're going to see, I just honestly dumped them right into my airbrush. And look at that. That's 1 coat. It's not bad. That's a 2nd coat, just for final coverage. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build up different layers of the paint of the eyes. I want his eyes to look as menacing as possible. I want Gengar to look like he's out of his mind, because Gengar usually is a little crazy. The bloody red is really nice. So now what I did is I keep adding a little white to the red, just to lighten it up. I'm going to go in real carefully, see how it turns into a little more pink. And then I'm going to repeat that process about 2 or 3 more times. See? And then I'm sorry the video didn't record it too much, but you can see what I'm trying to do. I gotta really position this better. So right here, I messed off the eyes and I painted them black. I reversed the eyes. And now I'm appreciating the purple. What I did was I took the witch purple that came with it, add a little black to it, and make it. This is the appreciate I'll be using around Gengar. And now I'm going in with the witch purple. This is going to be the first coat, a light coat. I'm just going around the appreciate. I don't want to cover the shade up too much because that's going to interfere with my blending trick that I'm going to show you. It was pretty, you know, this paint was pretty fun to use. Didn't have to thin it down, I just dumped it in, it was good to go. Now I want to show you guys my blending trick. What I do now is I cover the whole part now with the base color, the witch purple. See, and I just kind of blend in that pre-shade right into it. Because I don't paint over the pre-shade while I'm doing my first cover of the color. Now this final coat is gonna blend it all together really nicely. The camera doesn't pick it up too well, but you can really see it. See how smooth my paint process is? It's very simple. Just gotta get used to painting, man. Gotta stop caking on your paint. You know, there's no rush. So now you're gonna see my post shade. So add a little more white to the purple, and then I just kind of lighten up these raised areas. So the top of his head, his horns, ears, whatever the hell they are, his chin, and around the back, all those spikes. And you're really gonna start seeing a difference. It's so easy, man. This is a really easy, fun model to paint. And see how he came out? Look at that. Look at that shade. Looking good. Looking real good. And look how the teeth came out, nice and white. Look at that. It's a nice set of pearls he has down there, huh? Yeah, don't mind me. Now I'm just throwing on some panel liner, Tamiya panel line. Oh, that's all. You just pretty much want to panel line his teeth and around his eyes. And I painted the eyes different colors, like usually it would be black on the outside, white on the inside, but I kind of reversed it because that's a little more crazier look, and I really liked how it came out. Easy does it, a little cleaning process. Usually I have smaller Q-tips, but I gotta restock on that. Now I'm doing the final assembly after I top coated the model. Even though I let the top coat dry, the paint is still pretty soft. I think that's just how this paint is, to be honest. The top coat I used was Mr. Hobby GX 114 Super Smooth. I recommend it. And that part right there, I fixed no problem with masking tape. Just airbrush on. Alright, here's Gengar all finished. It came out really nice. Better than I thought. The seam lines were kind of a pain in the ass to remove. See how now you can't even notice that this was once taken apart. I didn't mind this because you can still pose them. You can't do much. You know, it's Gengar, it doesn't really move. His arms go back, but that's about it. They go up and down. But other than that, it will get on the shelf, and that's it. Hopefully I can get some more Pokemon models to keep him company. Actually, I do have a few more in the backlog. Maybe I'll see what I can do with them. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. I forgot to mention one thing during the build process. I forgot to record it. Was the top coat I used? I used GX Mr. Color 114 Super Smooth. This helps a lot with everything. I use this on pretty much every model I ever make, and it gives it this awesome finish where it just looks great. What I do for when it comes to this is I mist coat first, and then a mist coat is like when you barely layer it on. It kind of looks like it's just on there, but not too much.
let it dry for 15 minutes, and then I go in with a wet coat. But you gotta be good with your airbrush. You gotta make sure you're not caking it on and making it nice. That gives it a perfect finish. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, Gengar's pretty sweet, pretty cool. I like his eyes. Reminds me of Psycho Jenny from Devilman, and I think his whole feature looks like that. And I think that's pretty much where I got the idea for his design. Maybe, I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. And if you can you please give a like, comment, and subscribe. Show your friends, because this is going to be a new venture into model build videos that me and my friends are going to do. And we want to showcase different techniques, different ways to build models, reasons why, and stuff like that. And pretty much we just want to be able to help new builders and current builders just to improve everything. It's honestly, you got to just get down, when it comes to model building, just get down the basic techniques and go from there. Don't jump into all these hard projects head on. Start with the basics. That's my biggest, that is my biggest recommendation. Start with the basics and get used to the basics. That's as crystal clear as I can get. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Take care.